Thanks to several of my computer-savvy supporters.
Well, if it isn't old Eric Dubay, the world's smartest idiot. Well, he certainly thinks he's smart, whilst spewing some of the most objectively stupid things you've ever heard in your life, and then confidently portrays anyone with an education that goes beyond the first grade to be fools, in the kind of smug, self-satisfied tone that only a complete and total moron has the ability to exude. Anyway, you were saying something about your tech-savvy supporters. I'm assuming that means that they can do some pretty wizardly things like use the toaster without having an aneurysm or flush the toilet without blowing up the house. You know, so much more competent than you, mate.
Helping scour the Internet Archive, we have now found and can present Robin Kofid's article, "The Dinosaurs Never Existed."
Wow, that's even dumber than your usual shit, me ol' Rick. Damn, I'm impressed. And they scavenged the Internet Archives. What, so they used Bing instead of Google, so they got the really stupid shit coming up first instead of accurate information? Hey, I can't blame them. It's what I do when I'm looking for some really stupid shit for my videos. Bing just loves to spew forth the absolute dross of the internet. No wonder that AI went completely nuts.
From his deleted GVE News website.
GVE News. I wonder what that means. Well, since it's deleted, there's no point in checking. Now we're just forced to do the only thing we can and speculate with the stupidest names we can think of. I'll go first. How about God versus Evolution News, or Genius Very Intelligent? Perhaps it's Garza. Share your suggestions down in the comments.
If anyone watching this has not already seen my more comprehensive and conclusive documentary...
See? Do you see? He's so friggin' pretentious. Mate, you made a video, a long and stupid one, I'm completely sure, but that doesn't make it a fucking documentary. He's written books too, apparently, and I'm sure he thinks that the mere act of putting pen to paper somehow makes his ideas more sound. But frankly, all he's really done is made a bunch of what was always destined to be loo roll, now infinitely more uncomfortable.
Evolution and dinosaurs debunked. Please stop this video and watch that one first.
No, I don't think I will. I'm sure it's more or less just as stupid as whatever the hell you're about to pull here, and let's be frank, no one on my green earth could ever make it through over an hour of your smarmy bullshit without exploding from sheer concentrated oof.
Link in the description box. In this video, I will reveal one of the greatest hoaxes in human history.
Is it that you have a brain? No, I guess not. A hoax really has to be something that more than 3 people ever believed. And Christ, don't you think the earth is flat? Surely dinosaurs come way down on the list of hoaxes than the thing we literally live on is magically wildly different than what the evidence suggests.
But first, a short explanation of what we're dealing with.
I already said, a dumbass. Oh, wait, you mean the topic you are dealing with? Right, okay, fair enough. I might have jumped the gun a bit. I do gotta keep reminding him that he is a very, very silly man. Maybe if I do it enough, he might actually realise someday, but I doubt it.
Paleontology, the study of the origin and development of life.
I mean, that's part of it, I guess, but it's specifically about the study of ancient life in general. It's just that the origins is certainly something that comes up, as is its development, and I guess that's why you might have a problem with it, seeing as you seem to think that evolution is fake, which is just another feather in your cap of incredibly silly beliefs. Even with something as light as feathers, that must be getting pretty damn heavy at this point.
Paleontology is the study of life's formation and development.
Not 100% sure why you're repeating yourself, but in a slightly different way, but okay. And that kind of undermines you because the main definitions I've seen aren't that. It's actually the scientific study of life that existed prior to and sometimes including the start of the Holocene epoch. So basically anything that was alive before about 11,700 years ago. So why they never seem to study me is surprising considering I am timeless. All they tend to do is take me out for strong drinks and then leave me passed out upside down in a hedge. Bastards.
The paleontological scientific approach is explained on Wikipedia as follows. Quote,
Okay, here we go. Here's hoping you don't say, oh, I don't know, change the definition you use in order to make it sound like it says something that it does not. Because that would be extremely dishonest and not very smart of you to say to an idiot like me who immediately spots it and calls you out on your bullshit. That would be dumb, wouldn't it, Eric?
When attempting to explain earlier phenomena, paleontologists and other scientists of history construct a set of hypotheses addressing the causes, and then look for a smoking gun, a piece of evidence that indicates that one hypothesis is a better explanation than others. Sometimes the smoking gun is discovered by happy coincidence during another investigation.
And yep, took me a while to actually find where it says that. Well, that's what it used to be before you changed it. Because obviously, since you did change it, it wouldn't show up when I tried to search it. Because even with just a few words, it's already too different. And the part that really jumps out to me as the most changing the meaning is the removal of the word often. You know, often meaning not always, but merely regularly enough to be of note. It's not even the same thing as usually. So is clearly describing one of the ways they might come to certain conclusions, and I can only assume you changed the rest of it so that it would be much more difficult to find. That, or you are so incompetent you don't even know how to quote something properly, which, well, Hanlon's razor and all that.
This explanation is entirely consistent with the way paleontology works in practice.
It doesn't though, because of course there's more to it than that. I mean, the place you cherry-picked and changed by total accident, it is actually much more in-depth and talks about how the evidence has to fit, which is of course true of all scientific fields. I mean, even if it was purely constructing a hypothesis and then looking at the evidence to see which one is supported, that is kind of how a lot of science is done. And you know what else happens with that? If a piece of evidence completely ruins one of those ideas, it's generally discarded until you have one idea that fits all the evidence we currently have. And then, this is the cool bit, they'll use that idea to make predictions, like where to find something, or what we might expect to happen if we do something in particular. And if that prediction is correct, well shit son, it looks like you have the starts of a scientific theory right there. And paleontologists, like all good scientists, have done that at length over and over again, among other things. So yeah, maybe like, shut up Eric, you scientifically illiterate goof.
But it should be obvious to anyone capable of critical thinking
that Eric Dubay is one of the stupidest human beings alive, and that's quite an achievement, seeing as the depths of that are, well, vast. Also, critical thinking does not mean simply being critical of any idea that you don't like. It's actually about being critical of all ideas, including, if not especially, the ones that you do like. And I seriously doubt you have criticized a single idea that you think is sound, Eric. And that's what you need to actually do to be as smart as you think you are. Although I doubt you'd ever get even close to that. Maybe you'd be as smart as a bar of moldy soap. Still an improvement, obviously.
That the paleontological establishment can control which hypotheses will be constructed.
Okay, but so what? As I explained, that doesn't really matter, because whatever was constructed has to fit the evidence. If it doesn't, then it's changed, or it's completely untenable, then a new one is formed. Or perhaps an old one that didn't fit before, now does, thanks to new evidence and understanding. That's just science. Get over it.
This is done through textbooks and the curriculum. In this way, students are brainwashed into a pseudo-reality controlled by the text material and the teacher's authority.
Right, no, f*** me, that's just so wrong. It's not some conspiracy. Have you not noticed how science changes over the years? Or are you stuck reading the same textbook from when you were like 6 years old? The fact that it changes, new discoveries are made, and that things progress absolutely devastates the idea of some overarching conspiracy. Because what are they brainwashing them with then? New information that's up to date with the latest discoveries? Yeah, I guess that is like how religion always changes their childhood indoctrination to, oh wait, no, it's always the same shit and doesn't change, almost like they're not the same things.
A short practical example.
Translation: a stupid, impractical example to demonstrate how I either don't know what I'm talking about or am simply lying in order to make people think that my insane worldview is viable by obfuscating what actually happens, and then those dumb fuckers will watch my videos and buy my books. Because there's always a goddamn book somewhere, isn't there?
A random dental bone is found at an excavation site, and from this dental bone, the rest of the skeleton is guessed at.
Well, that sounds oddly similar to some creationist bullshit. And no, that's not how it works. Not in actual science. You know, the important bit. Have people made shit up based on fuck all in the past? Definitely. Some people will always do that. But to posit that that's what they do in the science is so wrong, it borders on fucking slander. But yeah, weird that you would spin creationist rhetoric. At this rate, his hat's gonna snap his damn neck. Stop adding shit to it for Christ's sake.
We are not kidding about this. The entire dinosaurian field of the paleontological program is a sham.
No, I guess you are not kidding. It's more of a complete and total lie based on misrepresenting what paleontology is and what it does for reasons that make no sense. I mean, I'm sure you have them, but because I want people to think I'm smarter than scientists who've actually achieved something in their lives by lying about them, is not something I would ever feel compelled to do. I mean, imagine the things that Eric could learn if he took the time and effort he puts into being wrong and focused it on knowing basically fucking anything. He might even be able to string a coherent sentence together.
It was the English paleontologist Richard Owen who in 1842 coined the term dinosaur.
And why did that come to be? Was it because no reason? And then he went looking for something that fit that word? Or did they find something and then named it? You know, it's almost like your pet theory here doesn't make any goddamn sense.
The phenomenon was then gradually promoted in the mainstream press all over the world, which told of these dinosaur creatures.
I really don't get what could possibly be the advantage to this idea. I mean, obviously, anyone in the know will know that they're all talking bullshit, and anyone with the money to fund this shit is probably going to make sure they know. So who's even going to fund it? No one. And it doesn't make any sense to fake them. And if you want to say, well, it's to sell things or some shit, they don't need to be real for people to be interested in an idea. Unicorns and fairies and fucking Jeebus are all nonsense, and yet people will buy shit for those all the time. So seriously, what is the point of faking legitimate science? Oh right, there isn't one, so they fucking don't.
Including the Danish press.
Okay, not sure what that has to do with anything. I mean, what have you got against the Danish? They make very tasty pastries, and that's all I know about them, because if it's not food or booze, I'm not really interested, to be fair. Fat and drunk are like the main things I do.
In 1854, a few years after the word dinosaur was invented and the concept presented in popular articles in the biggest American newspapers.
Oh, right, you really did bring up Danish news for absolutely no reason. Cool? Is there like some Danish conspiracy that I'm not aware of, so he has to bring up any tenuous link to them wherever possible? Otherwise it's just weird. Well, I mean, it would be weird anyway, but you know, weirder.
The first dinosaur was discovered in North America by fossil hunter Ferdinand Vanderveer Hayden.
Well, that's strange, because no, he didn't. In fact, the first dinosaur fossil was found a solid couple of 100 years before the guy did much of anything to do with dinosaurs, or even existing. Look at that, Eric being wrong about things. It's almost like he doesn't do any research or fact-checking or anything to even the slightest degree. It's almost like he's full of shit and maybe shouldn't be trying to debunk the entirety of a scientific field.
There had been no reported discoveries of even a single dinosaur bone in North America prior to 1854.
See, now, I can't tell if you are just so bad at doing a talking that you made it sound like you were saying one thing when you meant another, or if you're doing it on purpose. And it's still fucking wrong, since apparently one Dr. Caspar Whistler found a femur in like the late 1700s. Now, to be fair, it wouldn't have been called a dinosaur when he found the bone, because the term wasn't coined yet. But that doesn't change the fact that what he found was part of one. I think Eric is confusing the idea of the word being used going forward from the mid-1800s because that's when it, existed, with the idea that dinosaurs literally didn't exist before that. Fucking idiot.
But that didn't stop the paleontologists.
No, I guess having a field of scientific inquiry that is legitimate and interesting, that they can follow and continue to discover new things about every day, is not gonna stop them doing that. What are you even on about, you absolute maniac?
In the following period, finding dinosaur bones suddenly became a popular pastime.
Dinosaur bones are discovered and classified and are these cool, interesting looking things. So people are now interested in the cool new things. No, yeah, you're right. That must mean it's a conspiracy and it's fake for no reason. Everybody knows that if something is interesting to people, it must be fake. Jesus, you're as ridiculous as Hans Wormhat, aren't you? I mean, have we ever seen both of them in the same room at the same time? That just proves it. They both must be fake.
North America became home to the most ferocious and was a true wonderland to dinosaur bone hunters.
I have no idea if that's true, if there was some sort of much higher degree of dino hunting in the good old US of America, and considering how many things you got wrong and how often, well, let's just say I'm going to be going out on a limb to believe it, but even if it is, so what? America, a place that was full of new and unexplored territories, and there were lots of cities and towns scattered about that one could regroup from to try something new in a new direction, it would make sense. I mean, the gold rush was around the same time, so I can imagine they probably popped up around the same places since, digging. Although, let's just wait. I'm sure that gold is fake for some fucking pointless reason as well.
According to The Dinosaur Project, a book by paleontological dig journalist Wayne Grady, the ensuing dinosaur rush in North America after 1854 was a mecca for dinosaur bone fraud.
Right, yeah, I'm sure it was. But here's the thing. Do you know why they knew they were frauds? Because they know what real dinosaurs are and can tell the freaking difference. If they couldn't and were lying, then they would have had to say that they're all correct and fine. It's almost like there's some freaking science being done to work out what they are, you colossal dumbass. No, I am done. Everything you say is either wrong or not even wrong and just unbelievably stupid. Except I do believe that, because of all the proof of your stupidity.
Wait, before you go, I have something super important to tell you. It's life or death. It will change everything forever. Nope, wait, it's gone. Oh well, probably wasn't important. But while I have you, don't forget to comment, subscribe and notify. And if you want more of my smexy voice, check out Mrs. Six's channel Spoonstaff Stories, where I narrate and voice all the videos, and she does the work. And if you want to support the channel, check out the merch store for cool t-shirts, or check out Patreon, memberships and PayPal to support directly. Finally, follow me on the medias of social to get completely pointless guff and to keep up on the latest releases. Oh, I just remembered what I was going to tell you. Whatever you do, don't touch the